Don't buy another expensive Amazon tool until you've seen what Temu is selling for a fraction of the price. You've been scrolling through Amazon, thinking you're getting the best deal. But here's the twist. Temu is selling nearly identical tools built in the same factories, with the same materials, for a price that'll make you question every Amazon purchase you've ever made. This isn't about deals, it's about what you've been blind to. Let's start with the tool that exposes everything. Tool 1. The cordless drill. You're overpaying. For the project is finally happening. Maybe it's time to hang those shelves, fix the door that never shuts right, or build the workbench that's been sitting on a wish list for months. The first stop is the same as always. Amazon. Type in cordless drill, and there it is. The black Pusdecker 20-volt max drill and driver kit. Trusted brand. Thousands of reviews. A price tag that feels familiar, $70 to $80. That number has been repeated so many times, it barely feels like a decision anymore. The mouse hovers over Add to Cart. The box could be on the doorstep in 2 days. Easy, expected, done. But then a moment of curiosity kicks in. There's been talk about something different. A newer site called Temu. The one selling tools for prices that seemed almost too cheap to believe. So the same search gets typed in over there. 20-volt cordless drill. And suddenly, the idea of what's normal doesn't hold up anymore. A drill appears that looks practically the same. Same voltage, same battery pack, same attachments. The difference isn't in the tool, it's in the price. On Temu, it's listed at $19, not a sale, not a clearance. Just the actual price. The kind of drill that felt totally fair at $75 on Amazon is now sitting at $19 on Temu. That's a $56 difference, just because it's on a different platform. The first reaction is disbelief. It must be flimsy, fake, a toy. But digging deeper shows real people using it, drilling through wood and metal without any issues. Reviews, photos, videos. And that disbelief starts to turn into something unexpected. Embarrassment. It isn't the drill that made the difference. It's the store selling it. The higher price wasn't buying better performance. It was buying the comfort of a well-known brand in a well-known place. That's when things start to click. The truth isn't that the Amazon drill is better. It's that most people never question the price in the first place. And if a basic cordless drill can reveal that much, just imagine what's going on with the rest of the toolbox. Tool 2. The wrench set you thought was a steal. With the drill revelation still fresh, the mind goes somewhere more familiar. Something less technical, less complex. Something that everyone needs at some point. A wrench set. A tool that seems universal, unquestionable. So back to Amazon. Search for wrench set, and the top result looks comforting. The Craftsman 20-piece combination wrench set. The name carries weight. It's been around for generations. It looks solid in the photo. Polished chrome, neatly organized, promising a lifetime of reliability. The price? $75. And honestly, that feels fair. That feels normal. After all, it's Craftsman. It's Amazon. It has thousands of positive ratings. This seems like the kind of thing you buy once and never think about again. Now your mouse is hovering over Add to Cart. And it feels like the right move. Until that little spark of doubt returns. The same one that showed up with the drill. That same thought. What's the price somewhere else? So just to be sure, the same search goes into Temu. And suddenly, everything changes. A wrench set appears. Same size range. 22 pieces instead of 20. Same polished steel. Same open-ended and box-end design. But this one isn't $75. It's $12, not discounted, not on clearance. That's just the price. Now the brain starts working overtime. How is that possible? How can a nearly identical wrench set cost $60 less, and sometimes even include more pieces? The instinct is the same, to doubt it, to assume something must be wrong with it. Because if the Amazon version costs $75 and the Temu version costs $12, then surely quality is the difference, right? So you scroll the reviews. And the story starts sounding familiar. People using them for car repairs, home projects, furniture builds, and not just using them, recommending them, calling them sturdy, useful, worth every penny. And then the realization hits. This wasn't about quality at all. It was about conditioning. The Amazon version is expensive because you've been trained to trust that price. The brand, the platform, the idea that cheap tools don't last. That belief has cost more than a few extra dollars. It just cost $60. The wrench set didn't change. The purpose didn't change. The only thing that changed was the place it was sold, and the belief that came with it. And here's where the bigger picture starts forming. If even the basic things, the tools everyone relies on, are marked up by that much, what about the more specialized stuff? What about the kits you buy because they're not something you can cheap out on? What about the things you assume have to be expensive? Because the next tool shatters that belief, and it's not even a tool most people think to shop around for. Tool 3. The soldering kit. They charged $50. For so far, it's been drills and wrenches. Common tools, easy to compare, easy to understand. But what happens when the tool isn't something most people use every day? What happens when it's something more technical, something only serious users buy? Enter the soldering kit. Search for soldering iron kit on Amazon, and the results paint a familiar picture. A decent kit, temperature control, stand, multiple tips, maybe some solder included, clocks in around $40 to $50. And that feels justified. This is a tool for electronics, wiring, micro repairs. Not just anyone can use it, so it makes sense that it costs a little more, right? That's the trap. The higher the barrier to understanding a tool, the more people accept a higher price, without question. Now that doubt creeps back for a third time. That same thought. What does this look like on Temu? So you search soldering kit, and suddenly, the idea of what fair pricing means takes another hit. There it is, a complete soldering kit. Iron, power controls, stand, wire, cleaning sponge, tips, extras, the same type of product, except this one isn't $49. It's $9 for the kind of tool that people assume is too specialized to ever be sold cheaply. And now the reaction changes. This time, it's not just surprise or disbelief. It's a quiet kind of shock. Because this tool wasn't hidden in plain sight like the drill or the wrench set. This one was guarded by assumptions. People don't price check specialty tools, they just accept the cost. So you scroll, you read, and once again, full reviews, photos, real users, projects, circuit boards, DIY repairs. The same level of satisfaction, the same "this works just fine" energy as the others. And that's when the deeper realization hits. Some tools aren't expensive because they're better. They're expensive because most buyers assume they have to be. And that's all it takes. Not a scam, not a conspiracy. Just a belief system that makes people automatically click "buy now," without questioning whether there might be a version that does the exact same thing without the branding tax. At that point, the truth becomes undeniable. This isn't just about saving money. It's about exposing how price and quality have been divorced for years. And nobody noticed. Because if even a technical tool like a soldering kit can go from $50 to $9 the moment you change websites, what else have we been overpaying for without ever knowing it? Tool 4, the precision screwdriver set. That's 80% cheaper. So far, the comparisons have been about the big stuff: drills, wrenches, soldering gear. But the real test comes when the tools get smaller, when the job feels delicate, when the tool feels specialized. That's where most people stop questioning the price and start accepting it. Enter one of the most overlooked tools in any kit: the precision screwdriver set. Small enough to fit in a drawer, but essential for glasses, watches, laptops, game controllers, and anything with tiny screws. Back on Amazon again, search for precision screwdriver set. And the top choice looks reassuring. A shiny 24-piece magnetic set in a smooth, snap-close case. Clean lines, stainless steel bits, forged branding. Something about it feels right. The kind of tool a person would buy once and use for years. And for $30, maybe $35 after tax, it feels like a deal. A fair price for something with the word precision in it. The cart is tempting until that little itch starts again. That internal nudge from everything you've already learned. The thought that says, check Temu. So, out of habit now, the same search goes in, and the answer comes back fast. There it is, a nearly identical 24-piece precision screwdriver set. Same rotating cap, same noise-reducing case, same hardened steel bits for phones, glasses, electronics. It's all there. But this one? $6. $6. And this isn't a stripped-down version. It even comes with more bit sizes than the one on Amazon. Magnetic tips included. That's when the emotional shift starts to feel bigger than shock, bigger than disbelief. It starts feeling personal, maybe even unfair. How many times has something this small, this simple, been bought at 5 times the price? Because the trusted option was the only one visible? How many times has trust been exploited under the disguise of quality? At this point, the truth is too loud to ignore. Not only are the tools cheaper on Temu, they're often identical. Same use, same material, same result. And once you see that, the value of a brand name, or a familiar logo, or even a highly rated listing starts to look a lot more like a mask than a guarantee. Now, if even the smallest tools are hiding that much markup, just wait until the so-called professional tools get unmasked. Tool 5. The digital caliper. You thought was high-end. Some tools feel like they belong to the pros. Not because they're complicated, but because they deal with accuracy, precision, and numbers. Things you don't want to leave to chance. A digital caliper is one of those tools. Used in woodworking, engineering, auto work, machining, instrument building, even DIY projects that demand accuracy. And that reputation creates a kind of mental boundary. This tool must cost more, because it's not something everyone can just pick up and use. So back to Amazon, type in digital caliper, and up pops a stainless steel 6-inch model, LCD screen, fractions of a millimeter. A decent case. It works the way a precision tool should. The price? $25 to $30. And suddenly, that doesn't seem bad. In fact, it almost feels like a steal. Digital means expensive, right? But something has changed by this point. There's a pause. The same thought returns. Check Temu. Now the tension is different. It's not curiosity anymore, it's expectation. Temu is either going to surprise again, or expose something even harder to swallow. Search digital caliper there. And the reveal arrives like clockwork. A stainless steel digital caliper, same measuring range, same LCD, same accuracy, same hard case, even the same battery, for $7. $7 for a tool built to measure with thousandths of precision. No compromise, no missing parts, no catch. But this reveal doesn't feel like the others. This one doesn't just question price. It breaks the illusion that specialized tools are immune to markup. It proves something deeper. The more complicated the tool seems, the easier it is to sell it at a premium. Not because it's better, but because most people assume anything that looks technical is worth the price. But now, the mask is off. The walls are down. The pattern is undeniable. Overpaying wasn't something rare. It was the default. And the only thing that made it possible was trust. Now, everything starts to collapse. The idea that Amazon always has the best deal. The belief that brand equals quality. The assumption that higher price equals smarter purchase. And suddenly, the question becomes impossible to avoid. If the price of these tools can drop by 80 or even 90% just by changing platforms, then who's really been in control of the price all this time? That brings us to the final reveal, the truth behind Temu's pricing. And it's bigger than just tools. Why Temu is cheaper, the truth they don't want you to understand. 5 tools, 5 price comparisons, 5 moments where something quietly shifted. A $75 drill selling for $19. A wrench set dropped from $70 to $12. A $50 soldering kit replaced by one that costs $9. A $30 precision screwdriver kit going for $6. And a professional-grade digital caliper selling for $7 instead of $30. These weren't flukes. These weren't knockoffs. They were 5 real, functional tools showing the same truth. Most people aren't paying for better tools. They're paying for a system designed to make them believe they are. Amazon didn't become the world's biggest marketplace by offering the lowest prices. It became dominant by winning people's trust. Click, ship, done. The logo, the reviews, the comfort of 2-day delivery, all of it created a kind of emotional shortcut, a belief that if something shows up on Amazon and has a high enough rating, it's probably the right product at the right price. But here's the problem. Trust has a cost. Not the number you see on the screen, but the number you never question. The cost built from every step between the person who made the tool and the person who eventually buys it. Tools don't start at $75. They start in a factory. Metal charged with heat, forged into shape, machined by precision equipment. Then, the tool is boxed, branded, marked up, shipped across the world, added to warehouses, promoted with paid ads, and listed in marketplaces that take their own cut. By the time it shows up in a search bar with a 5-star badge and a bestseller label, the original $9 tool has passed through multiple hands, each adding their own fee. So what Temu did wasn't magic. They didn't create a cheaper drill, a knockoff wrench set, or a discount soldering kit. They did something far more disruptive. They cut out the middle. On Temu, the path is short, factory to platform to customer. No brands, no warehouses, no distributors, no ad packaging, no trust tax. Just the tool at its true price. And the only barrier left is whether a buyer believes in a product without a familiar logo attached. That's the real shock. The tools were never expensive. The system was. And it hasn't just been tools. It's been everything. Kitchen gadgets, earbuds, organizers, chargers, even socks and stationery. Anything that people never thought twice about until now. So the question isn't, should everyone start buying only from Temu? It's this. How much of what we paid for was the item? And how much was everything the item had to pass through before it reached us? That part is no longer invisible. And now that the curtain's pulled back, now that the $9 version and the $50 version are standing side by side, the automatic trust is gone. The emotional spell is broken. Tools didn't change. Prices didn't change. Only one thing did. You finally saw the difference.